Media and Games Invest have been busy, and so are we these next some 15-something minutes. Welcome to this broadcast. We have the CEO, Remco Westerman, with us on link. How are you doing, Remco?
Yeah, doing very well. Company, as you have probably seen, is developing very well, and it's a great team, and yeah, we're looking forward to more successes.
I'm going to divide this interview into three parts. I was thinking maybe start with the media business, going into the game segment, and then maybe a combination of both. So let's start with just that. Following the Smaato acquisition, you announced some structural and organizational changes to the company. Can you elaborate a bit on the background and why this is an important next step for Verve?
Yeah, Martin. Companies are dynamic, and especially if you're growing as fast as we do, and because of, let's say, acquisitions, but also organic growth was extremely strong on the media side, we have seen that we need, first of all, more people. And secondly, if you have more people, you also need to make sure that there is focus. So that's the reason that we decided to introduce a so-called pod structure, which is basically kind of business units, where people focus on different topics, like, for example, on the open exchange or on managed services and things like that. And for that, we are, let's say, we hired quite a few new managers. We're still looking for some more. And we have in total over 100 open vacancies. But with this structure, we are really fit for further growth, which we also expect in the media side.
Now, I wanted to add a bit of local patriotism in the mix here as well. Last week, you acquired Stockholm-based Match21. Now, while your overall financial guidance hasn't changed, you talk about the potential of this acquisition. Can you elaborate where exactly you see this potential?
Yeah, what we basically do, we have this tick-the-box strategy where we build a full vertical, omni-channel platform. And on top of the base platform, basically, we're also looking for value add. And one of those is Match21. So really happy with the acquisition. It's a great team. And with them, we think we can really enter in the SME business, so small and medium enterprises. And also they have very strong capabilities on the e-commerce side. And they have an easy-to-use interface, so it's really very easy to book media campaigns. They have a good customer base already in Sweden, like Hedvig is one of the customers out north, France, and several more. But so far, they've always been concentrating on Sweden. So what we are now doing is, during the rest of the year, really integrate them into the offering of Verve, our media part, and then rolling that out during the next year and the years beyond, worldwide, basically, where we think that we really can get a nice revenue traction by doing this.
Now we got a question from the live chat here related to Match21. It's a viewer asking about further acquisition. What type of sectors are you looking to acquire in?
Yeah, we still have a strong focus on games, and also, for example, the Match21 acquisition is bringing us a lot of e-commerce capabilities, which is also very interesting to combine that with games. But we are still, let's say, looking at the tech stack that we have. We're still missing a good web SSP, so that's something that we're still looking for, a supply-side platform. And we also still looking into UA, user acquisition capabilities to strengthen that part. And for the rest, it's further adding value add like Match21, and there's more possibilities in that direction, and also about internationalization. So that gives maybe a bit of an idea where we further are looking into acquisitions. And there's a good well-filled pipeline. But we are, of course, also careful. We don't want to do too many acquisitions at the same time because we also need to integrate them. But there is a lot in the market still for sale. So we are looking at that.
Yeah, let's move into the games business a bit, because that's where you did your most recent action. You announced yesterday that you've licensed a further mobile game called Fantasy Town. It's a part of your portfolio approach in the game segment. Can you tell us more about the game and the portfolio strategy overall?
Yeah, Fantasy Town, we're really happy that we signed the deal. It's a game that has been doing extremely well in Asia. And we also think that it fits very well for Europe and North America, where we have the exclusive rights for. But also a word of warning, launching games is a risky business. I mean, we always talk about the big successes of the launches, but forget to mention that there's many games that fail. And that's exactly the reason that we say we need to have a real portfolio approach, which means that we need to launch like 5 or 10 or rather 20 games per year. And that's what we're really working on. So I cannot promise a success on an individual game, but what we want really is to have enough games to really have also a good chance of having one that's really going forward and being very successful. I mean, with over 2,000 game launches per month, everybody will understand that it's not so easy. And instead, everybody's talking about the successes and forgets to mention the many failures. But Fantasy Town, to say a bit more about the game, it has a lot of role-playing elements in it. It's very social, so that's also things that we really have a good experience with, more on the PC and the console side. But as you have seen, I mean, we are now also starting to launch quite a few mobile games.
Remco, I wanted to talk to you about the risks, as you just brought up. And I actually my question got stolen from the chat as well. Someone was asking about the regulations in China. I was just about to ask that, so I'm going to ask it in pair with the viewer. There's been regulatory changes. It's been pretty brutal against some very specific sectors, games in China. How do you assess these risks? Are you in the crosshairs?
Yeah, China is, I would say, a market that's quite separate from the rest of the world. We have seen brutal actions also in other sectors, and now also that they really basically ban children to play games, especially during the week, but also limit that very much in the weekend. They also technically do that. That's only possible in China with all the watching that they're doing there. Nevertheless, so let's say, for China, I don't see this swapping over to the rest of the world. It cannot, because it's so technical what they're also doing there. Nevertheless, there is something also behind it that, of course, makes sense. I mean, use protection is something really important. That's also something where we are really active, and also doing, the self-regulation, those kind of things are important. So basically, to protect use and to make sure that there's not an extensive player behavior, those things are important. But I'm not afraid that China will swap over. And let's say we don't do direct to consumer in China. We work with partners there, and of our total revenues, it's less than 0.1% of the total. So in that sense, China is not something that I would, at least it's not affecting us.
Now, I told everyone that we were going to talk a bit about the media section first, about the game section afterwards, and then combine them both. And in combining them both, I wanted to talk about the general market for your type of business. We've seen 2 IPOs in the US market as of late. Iron Source and AppLovin have made $1 billion IPOs with what I think is similar business models as yours. They combine games and other segments with media. Why do you think this combination is so important to make? Why are people following your footsteps?
Yeah, there is a huge synergy between the two, and as you said, AppLovin and Iron Source are also showing that they basically were started as media companies and then started to buy game companies. Where actually AppLovin just yesterday announced that they bought Mopap, a 1 billion acquisition, actually roughly 1 billion. So what we really see that having the two under one roof really makes a lot of sense. The reason why. For gaming company, basically, there are 2 main success factors. The one is content, of course, new games, but also content into games. And the second one is that you have people to play those games, so users. And for the user acquisition, it's extremely important, of course, to be very fit on that. And with having a media house connected to a gaming house, you're more efficient on the cost side for acquiring users. But also you have many more data that you can optimize. And by those data optimizations, you even get more efficient. So for a gaming house, you're more efficient having a media part. And also for a media house, having own supply, first-party data, is also giving a big advantage for a media house. So there's a really good fit between the two. And I mean, there are not enough media companies to buy for each gaming company. So I think we're really very well timed in that. And we saw also lately Zynga getting into acquiring a media company. So it makes sense.
Would you say that the importance of the combination is made even more important by the changes in third-party cookies and IDFA As we've seen, this has hit some mobile gaming companies hard.
Yeah, absolutely. That cookies are disappearing is already known for quite a while. It has happened also partly in the internet already, and now with Apple with IDFA, and with those identifiers disappearing, it's even more important to first of all have first-party data, which we have. We have a huge SDK based on our media side, which gives us a lot of those. And the second thing is also to have a vertical media platform, so really an integrated media platform. So not only a DSP or only SSP, but really full integrated platform. And so those are things that we see happening in the market, and yeah, where we are pretty in front actually in having seen that coming and also been implementing that.
Now, as a combination, as again in the game space, most of your games are focused on PC. But on the media side of it, it seems like you're a bit more focused on mobile. Where's the strategy going forward?
The strategy is full mobile, full online. We believe that if you have a good IP, it should be rolled out basically over all the platforms, because each platform attracts different players. Some people like to play a console, some like more to play the mobile. Some games, of course, are not fully suitable. I mean, a role play game to bring it on mobile is not easy because of a lot of controls that you need for that. But in principle, we believe in an IP should be on all the platforms. It's like with a movie. I mean, movie is also is being streamed, is on television, etc. And also with the game, it makes absolute sense from a cost perspective and also from an towards the players.
We've got a viewer who wants to know a bit what the climate out there is like in the acquisitions market. The gaming sector has been hit pretty hard these last couple of months. Does this give you a better position in trying to buy companies cheap?
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I mean, with COVID, the valuation expectation of game companies went up, and also their revenues went up. So it was, let's say, we were all afraid that it would all become a bit more expensive, and even companies that were not doing so well, game companies were not doing so well, were getting, let's say, were not willing to sell anymore, or were getting more expensive. But what we see now after COVID, I mean, revenues going down a bit with a lot of companies that are not able to show organic growth. So that's already making M&A easier. And the second point, indeed, with the identifiers going out of the market, especially IDFA, we have seen, especially in the casual and hyper casual part, that also for mobile companies in general, mobile game companies, we have really seen that the expectations are going down multiple wise, and there's just a lot less buyers in the market, which is good for us.
Yeah, Remco, thank you so much for taking the time answering my questions. We're nearing 15 minutes, and I'm going to leave you to continue with your day. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Martin. Thanks.